Hola, peoples. Okay, so today, no formula, nothing really like actionable, just something to think about, something to sort of have a little conversation about. As I was working out, and then I took a shower and I was like, okay, what do I talk about this morning? What needs to be expressed? Like, give me something. Let me talk about something that is important and something that someone needs to receive today, right? And so as I was showering, it came to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Let's talk about that." And basically, what we're going to briefly discuss, again, share your thoughts as well, is integrating, mundane and magical, or magical and mundane. I think that's something that we forget a lot of times. We forget that if we cast a spell, we should be mindful that that spell, that casting, that working is creating change. And if we want that change to, take root, then we have to follow up with the mundane stuff, well, hello, Rain, Melody, and Jade. Good afternoon, Melody. It's still morning here. It's 10 a.m. here, so yeah, still morning video, right? That's okay. But yeah, welcome everybody. And so it's going to be a very brief conversation, most likely, but it's something that needs to be expressed. So if you're doing something magically, right? If you're doing something magically, again, one of the easiest things that excuse me, one of the easiest things that I use to express this is like if you're costing, apparently I can't communicate today, y'all. Wake up. But if you're casting like an abundance spell, or if you're casting for cash, or if you're doing a working for money, right? You want money, you want abundance, and you're using your magic, right, to make that happen. And then you're stealing from work. And it might seem very simple, but you're taking pens from work. You're taking pens, and they're not free. You can use them for work for sure, but they're not necessarily free. And so you're taking, pens from work, or you're taking toilet paper from work, because we're in a pandemic, right? You're taking something from work, or you're stealing music, or you're stealing. And yes, when you're downloading books off the internet that are, in copyright, that you're stealing, that's theft. And that's not okay. I don't support that. That's why I get so protective when people express, well, you can download this book here. And I'm like, you really shouldn't. Like, that's not a free book. That's not public domain. Don't do it. Because, first of all, authors really don't get paid a lot. And second of all, they deserve to get paid for their work. Creators, all of us, we deserve to get paid for our works. Don't rip it off. And if you can't pay for it, we'll save your money or figure it out. But don't steal it, don't steal it. So do I boost ads for my page? I don't know if that's a real person, but no, I don't. That threw me off. Anywho, so when you're investing into like downloading stuff, or stealing people's work, stealing artwork, stealing content, and you're saying that the abundance, okay, Blair. I'm like, because sometimes I get a lot of messages, hey, can we pay you to do this? And I'm like, this is a real person. But no, I don't boost ads. um yeah, I haven't yet. I tried it when it first came out, but it wasn't really successful. um okay, how I got my following: I worked my ass off. I worked my ass off, really. That's how. But to be very fair, I this page, the Deviant Witch, has like 93,000 followers, but it's a few of my pages integrated as well as but I still, worked my ass off to create and maintain. But it's also a few of my pages that were integrated into one. And then a friend of mine was getting rid of their page, and a lot of people wanted to stay together. And so I took that page over as well. So it was like that. Right, right. Piracy was supposed to end after Napster. Exactly. So, absolutely. Uh, but yeah, it was a lot of things, but consistency, hard work. And I will be honest, for I feel like it was easier back in the day for business pages, but just keep doing, keep working, keep at it, cast your magic, and follow through with the mundane, kind of like what we're talking about right now. So yeah, but you can message me if you want, and I'll be happy to talk about that. Uh, and so, if you're casting a magical spell, right, for cash, for money and abundance, and yet you're doing things that are saying to the gods, or god or goddess or source or universe, cosmos, whoever, whatever you work with, energy. If you're doing things, if you're following through with action that is saying that I cannot afford, I am stealing, I am disrespecting other people, and I am taking from them. I don't, I'm not necessarily worthy of abundance because look at my behavior. So we have to be very mindful. And sometimes it's very silly. Sometimes it's very simple, and we don't realize we're doing something, and we are. Does that make sense? And so it's really important that when you're casting, you are open to receiving signs, because a lot of times, like when you cast, let's say you cast for money, and then let's say you're again, simple. Let's say you are downloading a book that you could afford, but you're choosing not to, and you're stealing a book, right? Let's say you're doing that. And you get this nudge. You get this nudge like, maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should take that money or take that investment, and maybe you should buy the book if you really want it. Maybe you really don't want it. Maybe you're just wasting your time and wasting your energy. Maybe you can focus that time and energy onto actually making money in a different way. And so these are things that we have to be very aware of, because again, if you're casting for something and yet in the mundane you're doing something absolutely different, you're not helping yourself out. And we will be given like opportunities to like assess our situation, like, oh, this is where the problem is, this is where my challenge is, and I need to stop this. I need to focus on better habits. I need to focus on things that feel better. I need to focus on the abundance of things and appreciating things. And so when I appreciate this and I respect it with whatever investment, I see that my programming starts to shift and change, and I start to feel better, and I start to find ways where I can do more, and my spell is taking root, and my spell is manifesting for me, right? Does that make sense? Just like with banishing, if we're doing a banishing working, let's say we're banishing someone from our lives, right? So if we're banishing this individual, but once we've cast our spell, then we start talking to the individual, or we start, like, even if it's like someone at work, like, I don't want you in my life, someone at work, and we have to work with them, or we're around them somehow, and we're seeking them out, or they're coming to us, and instead of like expressing our boundaries, like, you know what, I don't have time for this, and walk away, we're like engaging with them because we feel like we don't want to be a bad person, or we don't want to hurt their feelings, but you banish them. Like, you don't want to be a part of their experience. So, you know, be very comfortable and confident, assertive. You don't have to be rude, but be assertive in the energy that you've cast. Otherwise, it's like, do you really believe that you're going to achieve this? Because if you don't believe it, then why are you casting for it? If you cannot, okay, If you cannot follow through in the mundane, then what's the point of even trying to cast in the magical, in the spiritual, right? What's the point? You need to learn how to. We need to learn how to work both. So yeah, if you're banishing someone and you don't want them a part of your life, then don't seek them out and don't engage, because there will be times where if you banish someone, or even a habit, a problem, a challenge, if you banish that, it will come up again. It will come up to test you, and you have to be the one to say, you know what, not for me, not for me, right? And then you are affirming that this is what you want. You are affirming your magic. Does that make sense? So you're following through and you're learning to work both. So you do a banishing, and then when it comes up in your mundane and you affirm, no, I don't want this. And in a respectful way, you don't have to be cunty about it. But you affirm that, and then it takes your magic a little deeper and it roots it, and then the two co-create together on a really beautiful level, right? So again, it's really important that we are aware of these things, correct? um if we do like a love working, let's say okay, good. I was like, who am I talking to? People are here, you're watching me, I feel your eyes, but I don't know, I can't see. uh Tell me something makes okay, good, thank you. Awesome. Well, hello Sarah, welcome. Hello Carla. So, if you're doing let's say a self-love spell, self-love, self-acceptance, it's important to allow ourselves room to grow. So if we have a challenge, if we have challenging thoughts about ourselves and self-love, blah blah blah, and so we do a self-love spell, we have to allow some room for growth. So we can have like challenging thoughts, we can have like negative thoughts, but when we recognize it, it's important for us to switch back to taking care of ourselves and loving who we are and appreciating ourselves. And so there is a little bit of leeway. There's a buffer of time where we have that energy to get us back on track, right? So it's just really important. So when we do a self-love spell, self-acceptance, and we find ourselves being very harsh on ourselves, we can think of, oh, we might get like this instant hit where, oh, self-love, I did a spell for that. Oh, I'm being challenged here in a sense where I'm being given an opportunity to take that spell, take that magic a little deeper and affirm this. And I'm going to do that. Bitch, I got this. Like, I know what I'm doing. I want this. I really, really want this. And so I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to take some time out to focus on the things that I love, to focus on what makes me happy, to get myself back into a space where I can really love and appreciate who I am. Yeah, I was having like a downward spiral moment, but guess what? I recognize it. The magic that I cast is taking root, and it's informing me that, hey, look where we are. This is a teachable moment. And so boom, here we go. I'm learning. I'm getting to apply my magic, and so I apply the self-love to in that situation, or the better thoughts for myself in that situation, in that moment. And then I realize, like, I am activating my magic. I am enacting it, and I'm making it more of a reality. I'm integrating it more into the physical experience. Okay, and it takes that magic and it roots it here in the physical, in the earth, right, on earth. And it becomes easier to step into that power, because every time we choose the awareness of our magic, and every time we choose to recognize where we need to be adjusting or readjusting our investments, or our time, or our thought process, or our actions, or whatever, here we are. We recognize it, and we're able to shift it. We're able to sorry, the incense is like a crazy. We're able to create something differently. Yeah, yeah. Like casting for a job but not submitting any applications. Yeah, it's that. It's also like mentally preparing for that job. It's also putting yourself in a situation where, oh, I can get a job. I want a job. If you're casting for a job but you really don't want a job, all you want is cash, well, cast for cash. You don't have to figure out how that comes about, right? So, but that's the thing. It's like, if you're casting for a job, then you have to be prepared to go out and do the work. Again, and it's not just about the physical, like making your resume and handing it out. It's also about the subtle things about work ethic, about the type of job that you want. It's also about the sort of like the mental atmosphere and your beliefs and your thought processes around that. So it's a little bit of everything, which is why it's so easy at times to just forget. Like when you're, again, like I said, when you're casting for money in abundance and you're going and stealing stuff, that's not okay. And we don't really think about stealing from work at times. It's like, oh, I did take that from work. Oh, probably shouldn't have, that extra, that those post-its or something. Like, I took that and I stole it. Because the business, even if it's a bigger corporation, y'all, it's a bigger corporation. It doesn't matter. Don't justify it. Like, own it. Like, yeah, I stole from work. I'll take responsibility for that. Own it, but don't justify it. Oh, well, they have a lot of money. You don't know. And if they did, who cares? That's not our business. Like, still doesn't justify stealing. And it shows where we are. It shows our mentality. It shows where what kind of energy we're working with, right? So yeah, any questions, any thoughts? It's a very simple conversation today, but I felt like I needed to share it. Because it's stuff that we need to think about. It really is. When we cast for something, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can on the mundane, in the physical, to open the pathway and make it easier for the energy to flow through. And when we're in the mundane and we want to make something easier, right? We're already in that space, making it easier. We want we love our job, but we want more money. And so boom, let's cast for it. Let's supplement. Let's complement each other. So yeah, sometimes we start with magic and then we follow through with the mundane. Sometimes we're already in that mundane space and we realize we want to enhance it or shift it or change it a little, and then we follow through with magic. So just, it's a part of being witch. It's a part of being magical. It's a part of our life. And so learn to integrate it and learn to be aware and recognize where we can enhance the work that we're doing. So I'm going to shuffle. So if you have any last minute thoughts, feel free to share. What's your favorite color? I love blue. Like, I like all kinds of blues. I love color, but like here, I have like just blues, all kinds of blue, turquoise, light blue, cerulean, blues, blues, blues. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm gonna shuffle. We're gonna shuffle, and we're gonna focus on a card that we can take inspiration from for the rest of our day. So the universe will always challenge us on our intentions. Yeah, and it's a game. It's fun. It doesn't always feel fun, but it's like, do you really want this? Because if you want this, you can have it. But I'm going to show you how to perfect it. And so, what that means is I'm going to give you challenges on your path. I'm going to give you challenges that are very annoying at times and sometimes hurtful, but you're going to have these challenges that come forth so you can perfect your energy and be ready to receive the blessings. So when you have these challenges, recognize them and learn to focus again on what you really want. And instead of focusing and giving your entire energy into the challenge, focus on meeting that challenge, yes, but focus on what it is you really want to create with that. So focus on the having of the desire of your of what makes you happy instead of that bullshit, right? So yeah, absolutely. I am going to work. This is the ask and is given cards as expressed in the description. Ask and it is given. So going to shuffle. And one little message before, for some reason, I don't know why, a lot of people haven't been receiving my emails and then on my posts, my public posts. So the Deviant Grimoire was a pre-order. It wasn't already made. It was a pre-order. The pre-orders ended on January 9th, and they were supposed to be ordered once funds cleared on about the 11th, I thought. But it took a little longer. Thank you, Corona. It took a little longer, so it was like a week late. Books have been ordered. Paperback. I am so surprised. Paperbacks are they're already shipped out to me, which is really crazy because last time I ordered some, it took like a month for them to be in production and ship out. So paperbacks are on their way. Hardbacks are not. They're still in production. So join the group, Becoming a Deviant Witch. I have a group. Again, I posted it everywhere. I have a group, Becoming a Deviant Witch, for those who pre-ordered the book. And that's where you'll have all of the information, all of the updates on when these things are moving. When I get them, I will sign them, I will charge and bless them, and then I will ship to you. And you will know when I send them out to you. So just make sure to do that. Okay, y'all. So now that you're here and I have your attention, 1, 2, or 3. I'm only choosing one card, but 1, 2, or 3. Go ahead and comment, or don't write it down because I won't be able to see it. But 1, 2, or 3, and the dominant number that I see. The dominant number I see. Yeah, the book it's no longer available. It was the pre-order. I've been posting about it for several months. Yeah, it's no longer available. So, but yeah, 1, 2, or 3. The dominant number that I see will be the stack we choose from. I'm seeing a lot of 3s. 2, 2. I'm seeing 3. Oh, now I'm seeing 2s. I see 3. Okay, this is kind of fun. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate our time together. I have a lot of fun. Okay, so I lied. I do lie. I'm going to do 2 cards. So we're going to do stack 2 and stack 3, just because I see a lot of 2s and 3s. So I feel like I should honor that. So we'll do 2 cards, stack 2 and 3, just some, inspirational collective vibe for us to be inspired by, for us to work with, and just, meditate, contemplate on. So 2 cards, stacked. The first card is stack 2, so 2 and 3. So I will do my best to make the best of it. I will do my best to make the best of it. I actually like that, especially with our conversation. I will do my best to make the best of it. A key to regaining your feeling of empowerment is to decide right now that no matter how good or how bad you are feeling, you are going to do your best to make the best of it. Do that again and again, and in a short period of time, you will find yourself in a very good feeling place. I like that. What do you think about that? Oh, this card we've had before. Maybe that's why. Okay, so what do you think about that? I really like that. I like what it expresses. I will do my best to make the best of it, and I think that it helps us to sort of let go of control at times. It helps us to realize that, you know what, sometimes I feel shitty. I feel shitty, and I'm going to do my best to make the best of my situation. But right now, I'm feeling really down. I'm feeling really shitty, and I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do what I can, right, to make the best of my really shitty situation. And I do that, and then eventually it's like, okay, I'm not as shitty. All right. And then some things happen, and it's like, oh wow, I'm feeling a little better. Oh wow, I'm feeling really good. Oh bitch, I'm on point. Like, let's go. Hoops are up, and we're gonna have fun, right? And so it's a lot like that. It's expressing that, at any given situation, anything that we're into, it's important that we realize, look, I'm gonna make the best of this as best as I can with whatever I'm working with. I am determined and I am focused on making the best of my situation. And I recognize that, it may not be what I want eventually, but it's what I have right now. And so I'm going to work with what I have and make the best of it. And I'm going to try and have fun with it as best as I can, whatever that means. But we honor our emotions, we honor our situations. We do not lie about them. We do not negate whatever we're going through. We honor it, we respect it, but we realize that we can utilize this to make the best of it. So let's move on to card 2 for a second. Um, my emotions are vibrational interpreters. We've had this card um, before. My emotions are vibrational interpreters. Your ears, your eyes, your ears, even your nose, tongue, and fingertips are translating vibrations, but your most sophisticated of vibrational interpreters are by far your emotions. Surprise. By paying attention to the signals of your emotions, you can understand with absolute precision everything you are now living or have ever lived. Ooh, I like it. What does that say to you? Pay attention to your damn emotions. That's what it's saying to you. It's saying, look, you got the feelers, feel them, don't deny them, don't run away from emotions, honor them, invest into them, pay attention to them because they are telling you you're either acting a fool or, whatever. But your emotions are really powerful. And so a lot of people, like I was there back in the day. If you saw me as baby deviant witch, like back in the day, I was a super cunt. I was super emotional though. Like we're all emotional. We really are, but we deny it at times. Like we're like, emotions? What's that? Like I don't have emotions. No, I have emotions and I love my emotions now. But before I was like, oh no, I'm not emotional. You're acting a fool. You're crying, please. Why are you crying? There's nothing to cry about. Are you dead? No. Even if you were, what's there to cry about? You're no longer here. Right. I was like, that was like my perception. But really, it was a lot of intense emotional stuff that I had to process for myself. And so when we understand that our emotions are very powerful for each and every one of us and they help us navigate our world, when we pay attention to our emotions and we realize like, oh, I feel something and I'm going to honor this and this something. And as I honor that something, it helps me. I realized later on that I did something really good for myself, right? I listened to those emotions, I felt it and I experienced it and I made choices based on the awareness, the analytical part, the logical part, as well as the emotional part, co-creating together, helped me create a very good decision. So, you know, my emotions are vibrational interpreters. So let's pay attention to our emotions. Pay attention to how we feel. Like, where are you in your life right now? How do you feel about that? What's the first situation that comes up? Like, how do you feel about that situation? What is going on in your emotions, right? How do you feel? And then I will do my best to make the best of it. We realize the two cards together, it's like, look, pay attention to those emotions, but do your best to make the best of an emotional situation. Do your best to make the best. Do your best to make the best. Do your best to make the best of the emotions that you are holding space for. Work with them, work through them, and allow them to work for you. So pay attention to that and realize that when you are aware of the different things that are happening in life and you are choosing to make the best of it, you are honoring those emotions, you are honoring how you feel, and you are using that to just have the best experiences possible wherever you are. And the best experiences possible doesn't mean like you're gonna have like this big old smile on your face and it's like, oh good. No, it just means that you know what, you're gonna make the best of the shitty situation and whatever. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it flows. Let's see. Does that make sense? I like the cards actually. Let's see. Let's see. Think positive in the worst of times and it will flow from you and spread to others and then it will flow back to you. Yeah. Or, in the worst of times, experience those worst of times, experience that shit, experience that negative energy and hold space for it because, um, we can't always like force positivity upon us, right? So sometimes it's like recognizing that, you know what, I'm in a really shit situation. I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. And when I recognize that, I can also hold space for, but how do I want to feel? I want to feel better. And what does better look like? How does better feel? And so it's recognizing, it's not forcing something into our reality, it is being mindful of the energy that is manifesting in our reality, how we are feeling, and then navigating that and using that to our advantage. Oh yeah, I feel terrible. I absolutely feel terrible. And so what can I do? Like I realize that, and that's the moment. That's this moment. I feel terrible. So what how do I want to feel? Not so terrible. Okay. Well, what does not so terrible look like? How does not so terrible feel? What can I do to feel not so terrible? And then we come up, once we acknowledge, where we're at, we can then find things to do, find actionable steps to help us like pull out of uh the terrible to not so terrible. Hmm. Let's see. Both cards are telling me to honor and respect all the feels, feel them. Yeah, don't shut your feelings down. Feel them, as best as you can. Feel them and embrace them, and honor them and navigate them. Like, analyze your emotions too. Like, get to know them, communicate with your emotions, and see, what they are expressing to you. I like that. Oh, y'all quit smoking. Awesome. I'm not telling you to quit smoking because it's not my business and it's not for me to say, but I'm just recognizing that a lot of people said they quit smoking. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. If that's what you want, then that's awesome. If you want to smoke, shit, that's awesome too for you. So, whatever. Do you and do it good. So, yeah, awesome. Let's see. Even if the emotion's not good, the best way out is through them. I made mistakes ignoring bad emotional feels. Yeah, yeah, same. And I try not to look back and think I made mistakes. I try to look back and I look back and I'm like, you know what? That was an experience. I would have handled things differently with the person I am today, but back then that's how I chose to handle it and that's how I could handle it. With what I had, with my emotions, with my mentality, with the person I was, that's the best I had at that moment. But now I'm different. And so I recognize the growth. So yeah. So yeah, inspiration. So card, I will do my best to make the best of it, right? And then my emotions are vibrational interpreters. Something to sort of mull. Sorry, to contemplate the rest of the day. So, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And I will be back. I will be back later this afternoon, evening time, most likely my afternoon, your evening. Um, I will be back, so be aware. I am coming back. And if you always feel comfortable with sharing yourself or sharing your thoughts, because this is our time together, we get to co-create this experience, and that's what's really important to me. That we get to have these conversations and just have fun and really get something out of it. So I really do honor and respect your time, and thank you for sharing that with me. I will be back. So if you have any suggestions for future public videos, if you have a deck that you want me to work with, always feel free to make those suggestions and I will do my best to honor them if I'm able to. And if you want to support this Deviant Witch experience, then you will find, you're more than welcome, is what I was trying to say. You're more than welcome to click the link in the description, and there's different ways to support, engaging here, sharing my stuff, just talking. That helps boost, the business. It really does. There's just different ways to support. You can find that in description. All right. I'm leaving now. So Peace. Be blessed.